All right, man. Welcome back to the Forfeit Fatherhood podcast. We are 6 weeks, no, 7 weeks. This is 7 weeks in, and I am going to do something special for the seventh week. 6 weeks of amazing guests, actually five, because that first week was just me. And then we have five solid guests, super dope experiences, great conversations. Just really interesting to hear what everyone has to say in regards to fatherhood, in regards to business and finance and like life in general. Um, so it's been really cool rapping with some dope dads. I got a few more lined up, but since this is the seventh episode, I actually want to kind of come back, right? And just link back up with you guys myself and give you an opportunity to kind of hear some things that I've been thinking about. And so most of the guys that I interviewed are all busy fathers working in some capacity, either outside the house or in the house, whether it be investing, cooking, financial advisor, just a ton of things, right? Like everybody's got something going on, and author, realtor, rapper, like all this different stuff going on, right? And there's something that there's a common theme, and it's one of the things we talk about, obviously, in the four pillars of fatherhood, where we talk about faith, family, finance, and fitness. And this fitness piece keeps popping up, not necessarily in the podcast, but just in my conversations with dads. As we get older, we're chasing the bag, and you might have heard me say that throughout some of the episodes. We're chasing the bag, and we're trying to build our business, we're trying to grow our financial situation for our family. We got kids, we want to leave a legacy of finance. And a lot of times in that pursuit of wealth, we lose sight of our own health, right? And so dudes get out of shape. I think on episode 1 or 2, Greg talked about the dad bod. We had guys talking about hanging it up and not necessarily doing the fitness thing as much. Busy If I was a busy business dad who didn't have the time to cook, didn't have the time to find working out, was pursuing my business and trying to be there for my family and be present in both places at the same time. If I didn't want to starve myself, if I didn't want to spend hours in the gym, if I tried all the different things and all the different stuff and it didn't work. These are the 7 things. Knowing what I know and working with who I've worked with up to this point, these are the 7 things that I would say are probably going to be the most beneficial to you in the long run. And I'll throw in a couple bonuses, right? But number one, right? We always talk about breakfast being the most important part of the day, most important meal of the day. We talk about setting the tone at the beginning of the day for the way that the day goes. And so outside of your morning routine, where I've talked about, your meditation and journaling and things like that, we're talking about just on the health and fitness aspect, although that's kind of health related. We're talking about more, weight loss, weight gain, muscles, strength, that kind of stuff, right? Not necessarily holistic health. The first thing I would do, like number one, is I would try to, as much as I can, eat the same breakfast every day, right? And not every day, right? Because it gets boring. And maybe on the weekends you want to do like pancakes and waffles with the kids or whatever, right? But I would say like 80 to 90% of the days I have the same breakfast, right? The reason being is because it's fast, right? It's quick. I know what I'm going to eat. And I might even be able to prepare that the night before so that I get up and I can knock it out. It's one less thing that I have to think about in the morning. And it's going to be something that's going to be nutritious for me, right? Something that's going to get me jump started. So I usually have some oatmeal, eggs if I feel like cooking, right? Or I might boil some the night before. So oatmeal, eggs. If I don't have eggs, I'm gonna have a protein shake and a piece of fruit, right? So I'm gonna get my carbs. I'm gonna get some sugar from the fruit, some vitamins, and kind of mixed in with that as well. And then I'm gonna have some protein, whether it be the eggs or the shake, right? Right. And I'm gonna knock that out, and that's gonna set me up. If I say I'm gonna do that 90% of the time, that means 90% of the days, I'm going to start my day off with the right type of food. I'm not going to be eating cereal. I'm not going to be skipping breakfast. I'm not going to be having this massive thing where I got a ton of pancakes and I'm eating them. Like I have a system of how I eat, and this fits into that system 90% of the time. Then I'm setting myself up for success right away. Right. Number two, and this is if I'm a busy dude, right? Like a lot of times, and some of my more strict times, I'll do like meal prepping, where I'll prep it out the week before, or maybe I'll work with a meal prep company. There's some great ones out there that I've used before, and I'm not going to plug anybody necessarily, but there's some great ones out there. You can probably find them in your area. It's probably good to get somebody in your area because you can actually talk to them about what you want. There's those delivery services like not Bluehost, Fresh something. I don't know. I'm trying to give you names, but I don't have the names. But I've tried all of them, right? And they're good. But some of those ones, the ones that send you the box, you got to do a lot of cooking and prep work, and I don't really like that. But anyway, I digress. Number two, if I can't meal prep, if I'm not meal prepping, I will go to a restaurant I can trust and order 2 meals accurate account of what the food is, and they're pretty strict on their scoops. Like when they say they're giving you a scoop of chicken, that's all you're getting. You're not getting like some extra like heavy scoops. You're not getting heavy scoops of rice. Like they are hitting you with that scooper, and that's all you're getting. So when you look at your MyFitnessPal and you put that stuff in, it's pretty accurate as far as what you're going to get calorie wise. So you know exactly what you're getting, right? It doesn't mess you up. We're like a lot of times we talk about like, oh, I'm eating everything the right way, but I'm not losing weight. And typically that's because you're not calculating correctly. Maybe something is off, something is a little more than you thought it was. When you go to a restaurant or you do a meal prep with macros you can trust, it sets you up to make sure you're hitting the right numbers. Okay. So I would like, and that's if I'm a busy dude, like I don't have a whole lot of time. I could pop into Chipotle, or maybe I order it online. I could just go pick it up off the little cart and get right back to work. Right. Um, Let me see what else. Oh, dinner time, right? So I already talked about breakfast. I talked about lunch. There should be another meal somewhere in there, but let's skip that, right? Um, let's talk about dinner. So dinner, busy dude, busy dad. I would just pick one or two things, right? Maybe two things, right? I like to have a fish for dinner, and typically like a good fish, fatty fish, typically like a salmon, or if I'm feeling like, I might get some like some Chilean sea bass or some kind of cod, something that got a little fat to it that's delicious. Um, or tri-tip, some kind of like marbly, like delicious steak. Uh, and I don't really like steak, but I eat it for this purpose. One, it's good at the end of the day, right? But here's the other thing: is if I've been like tight on my calories throughout the day, this feels like a splurge of like, oh man, I'm going in, I'm treating myself, and this is all a mental game, right? Because that's probably the toughest part of staying in shape, or what I like to say, becoming fitness, right? Is that mental aspect. But if you can do a couple of things to trick yourself, it makes it a lot easier, right? Like if you're not saying, I'm not going to do this for 6 months, I'm cutting this out, I'm never going to do this, I'm not going to eat that, then it's going to be a lot harder. But if you find ways to work them into your normal routine, it's a lot easier, right? So I'll alternate between some kind of steak and a fattier fish for dinner. Ideally, right? We want to be like, you want to really bro it up, throw it on the grill, right? Skewer some veggies, throw them on the grill. So then you're having a good chunk of meat, and some delicious grilled vegetables, and maybe maybe throw some potatoes in there as well, or a sweet potato. I like to throw sweet potato in, or maybe even rice, like some brown rice, white rice, whatever kind of rice you like, but like a scoop of it, right? And now you got a healthy dinner. So now we've accounted for our meals throughout the day. We have a breakfast we can depend on that we always eat, and it's fast. It gets us going in the morning. We have a lunch that where we know our calories. It's already calculated. We know exactly what it is. Matter of fact, we put it in so many times into MyFitnessPal. We can just go to previous meals and just hit the button. Boom, it's already there. And then for dinner, I'm alternating. right? Between the fish and the steak. And again, because I'm alternating, I can just add that. It's an easy add, and now I know exactly what I'm eating, and I don't have to worry about it, right? So I'm hitting my numbers throughout the day. So I'm taking care of the nutrition part of it. As far as the fitness part of it goes, I would like to strength train at least 4 days a week. And when I say strength train, I mean like I'm in there getting the weights, right? Like I'm in there pushing myself. I'm in there following a program to build strength. Like I'm focusing on strength, right? Because that kind of strenuous activity is going to force my muscles to grow. Now, the more muscle I have, the more fat I burn, the better I look, right? Like I want to look no matter how old I am, no matter how business savvy I am, no matter how much money I got in my bank account, I want to look like a dude, right? I want to look like I still got it. I want to look like when people see me, I want them to know that I was an athlete at one time, right? I want them to be understand like this. He's not an athlete right now, but he looked like he might still be able to suit up. Right? Like I'm not out on the field. I'm not doing any of that, right? I'm not touching the field. I'm not racing you. I'm not outlifting you. I'm not doing none of that. But I want you to see me and be like, okay, all right, something go down. That dude can handle it, right? So the only way to do that is to train for strength. If I'm just sitting there doing cardio and running on the treadmill, unless I'm running a marathon, that is pointless. Obviously, there's some cardiovascular things. You got some heart, like it helps with your heart. Don't like get me wrong, but I want to look jacked, right? Like nobody can tell if you can run for a long time. Like they look at you and like, oh man, that dude looks like he can run forever. I'm cool on that. I don't care if they think I can run forever, right? So I'm a strength train 4 times a week, somewhere between 45 minutes and an hour, just because I don't want to be there forever. But 45 minutes and to an hour is feasible for me. If I'm a business dude and I got a bunch going on, I can figure out how to chunk an hour out of my schedule, whether it be before the day starts. Maybe I hit it at lunchtime. Maybe I get it at the end of the day, but I can figure out how to get an hour in. And it may be through some investing of other time. You may have to sacrifice some things, cut some things out, move some things around your schedule, but you're going to have to find the time to do it. Where we at? Number 5, number six. This is something, and me and my guys, my group of guys, we've actually doubled this at this point. But I would say get at least 10,000 steps, and that can be any way you do it, right? Like if you go out for a run, so 10,000 steps is like 5 miles. I think if you go out for a run, you get a 5 mile run, boom, you got your 10,000 steps, and everything else is a bonus, right? Or if you're just getting your 10,000 steps throughout the day, because a lot of us don't realize we're stagnant. We're standing still. We're sitting at a desk. We're on the computer. We're on Zoom. We're doing all these things now where we don't really move. So if I can get you, and they don't have to be sprint steps, I just need 10,000 of them things. Get out and go for a walk with the dog. At the end of the night, when it cools down, take the family for a walk, the kids ride the bikes, all that stuff, right? Get your 10,000 steps. The reason the guys that I'm with have started doing 20,000 because we were knocking off 10,000 easy. I'm talking about 10,000 by noon. So you got the rest of the day. Now it's like, okay, how many steps can I get? Oh, I'm at 18,000. Where you at? Right. We're shooting messages back and forth. Oh, I hit 23. Oh man. Right. So now we're competing against each other to see who can get the most steps in a month, in a week, in the year. Right. And this is something that you can do, but I say 10,000 is the minimum because it's a conscious effort to get the steps, right? You have to get out and be active and actually work towards it. Right. And so I use 10,000 as a kind of measuring stick. Number 7, right? Number 7. And actually, this is like number 0, right? This should be like number 1. This is actually should have come first. And it kind of is intertwined in all of these things. Is like you have to have a plan, right? No matter what your goal is, you want to lose weight, gain weight, build muscle, get stronger, run the marathon. It's got to be a plan, right? You got to have you have those end goals because the goals are like the end, the finish line. But like, what is the path, right, to get there? And you have to have a plan for it. Like I talked about having that meal in the morning and then having those macros you can trust. Well, the only reason those macros are important is because you have a plan for how many macros you want to hit in that day or how many calories you want to hit in that day, right? Otherwise, it doesn't matter. Does that make sense? Like the same thing with the strength training, right? If you're not actually trying to get or gain strength, then why are we doing strength training? So the plan has to be there. There has to be a plan for how you eat, how many calories you get in, what your workouts are, what's your program. Like, what is that program? What does that look like? Right? We're not just Googling it. We actually have a program and a plan that we're going to follow. It's just like your job, right? You, as a business dude, you understand what I'm talking about. You have these quotas and these things, these goals that have to happen by the end of the month. And there's a step-by-step plan for how that has to happen, or in the day, right? Like when you have a quota to hit, there's a way to get to that. You don't just magically let it happen, or you're not like throwing stuff at the wall and hoping it sticks. And maybe sometimes you are, but more often than not, there's a plan for how things get done. And the same thing is here. So that's why I say it's like number zero, because it kind of everything else falls in underneath it, right? But it's just as important down at the bottom to remember you have a plan so that you can attack these things, right? So that's why I put it at the bottom as the plan. Then everything else is the actual plan to get to the goal, right? Anyway, so that's the 7. But here's a couple of bonus things, right? And I mentioned this with the plan part of it. You have to know your optimal intake. Okay. And what I mean by that is you have to know what is best for you to take in for your goal. Okay. Like if I weigh 200 pounds, and I'm just using numbers, these aren't exact, I weigh 200 pounds, I want to get down to 180. I need to know how many calories per day I need to be down in order to get to that goal. Right. I need to know what's optimal, because obviously, like I could be, let's say I need to take in 2,000 calories to stay at 200 pounds. If I want to lose a pound in a week, I need to cut off 500 pounds there. Right. So now I'm eating 1,500 calories. If I cut off 1,000 calories, I'm still going to get to my goal, and I might even get there faster. But is that optimal? Right. Am I going to be living the life that I want to live? I feel like I missed one. I did miss one. Let me go back. Because I knew in my head this one was really important to me. Ooh, yep. So I went tri-tip and fish, right? But on top of that, I like to leave in some room in my meal plan, like for something special, like a dessert, and on a daily basis. And I'm not talking about like cake or ice cream, because those are it's just too many calories, right? Get a scoop of ice cream is like 400 calories. That's too much, right? I'd rather have those 400 calories spread out amongst like protein or veggies, right? But at the end of the night, after my dinner, if I save like 200 calories or so, I can have a piece of something that I really like, right? Like I can have I can have a dessert that fits into my plan. And again, just like I said, like the steak or that fish is like a reward. It's not something you typically get on a diet. Um, that sweet that I get at the end of the night, and I'm saying every night, right, is like I'm not even on a diet. I'm not on a meal plan, because I get to have what I like on a daily basis, and it's planned for. So it's not something that's in excess. So if I was talking about the 2,000 calories, right? If 200 of those calories are something sweet that I like, then I don't even have to worry about it, because I know those calories are already underneath what I want to try to get to. It's not 2,200 calories because I had it. It's already built in, right? The pardon the pun, the sweets are baked in, right? It's baked into my program, right? So let me back up. Let me count them all. One, you want to eat that same breakfast because it's fast and it's good for you. Get your day started, right? 90% of the time, not every day, right? Have a day where you have pancakes with your kids. You take them to Denny's. You go to, the Cracker Barrel, right? Number two, have a place. It doesn't have to, for me, like I said, it's Chipotle. For you, it could be anywhere, but somewhere where you can trust the macros, right? Trust the amounts that they give you. They're not just slopping it onto the plate and you have no idea how much it is. If there isn't a place or a restaurant like that, consider meal prepping, where you measure it out and have it prepped. Or consider using a meal prep company that will do it for you, that will macro it out for you, so you know exactly how many calories you're getting with those meals. That way, when I say if I have my 2,000 calorie max for the day, I know where this fits into it and I can trust it, right? Um, Number 3, right? We talked about the steak and the fish, right? We're talking about like reward meals at the day, a delicious steak, some fatty fish that just tastes really good. Grill it up with some vegetables. Go dog it out and you'll throw it on the grill with a sweet potato or just regular potatoes or some rice, depending on how that fits into your goal. But it's like the reward, right? Every day I get a reward like that. That's an ideal diet or a meal plan, right? I just mentioned it. Make sure you calculate in something sweet, some kind of guilty pleasure, not something that you're going to binge out on though, just enough to satisfy that. And it could be, honestly, it could be healthy. You could have fruit smoothie, right? You just can't go crazy throwing the yogurt in and the peanut butter because when like the smoothies are healthy, but if you look at the calories, like you go to Jamba Juice, one of the places, you look at the calories in the smoothie, it's like 700 calories in a smoothie, and there's nothing but like fruits and vegetables. But then they pour 8 ounces of apple juice, they throw in 6 ounces of yogurt, and they're putting all this stuff in, and now it's like just extra calories in. So while it seems like it's healthy, and it is, the calorie count is taking you out, right? So it's knocking you out for calories. So plan accordingly. Maybe some fruit, some peanut butter, I don't know, rice cakes, whatever, something like that, right? Something that you like. Rice cakes are gross, but if you mix them together, it could be good. So is that number 4, right? Number 5, we want to strength train 4 days a week for at least 45 minutes to an hour with a goal to get stronger. We're not just in there moving the same weight around, doing 20 reps, right? We're trying to get stronger. We're in that 8 reps and lower, like 5 reps. We're banging out some big weights. Number 6, get your 10,000 steps, right? Get out and walk or run or jog. Do something so you're active. Be intentional about the number of steps. 10,000 is not a number that you just hit on accident, especially now when we're sitting still, we're in front of Zoom, we're working from home, whatever, right? We got to get out and be active. You got to be intentional about get your 10,000 steps, get up in the morning, walk the dog. At the end of the night, go take the kids for a walk before bed, after dinner, all that kind of stuff, right? And number 7, again, this flows through all of them, is you got to have a plan, right? You have to plan everything out. And it's ideal that like once you have a goal, then you create a plan that fits to the goal, right? That plan is going to get you to that goal. Don't just make up a plan. Don't just have a goal. The two have to complement each other, right? Bonus, right? I say this all the time and I always struggle when I say it because people look at me crazy, and I say losing weight or gaining strength or size or whatever, right? Any of that kind of fluctuation of up and down is simple. Okay. The equation is simple, but it's not easy. If I have less calories on a daily basis than my body needs, I'm going to lose weight. If I have more calories than my body needs, I'm going to gain weight. Very simple equation, right? It doesn't matter what the numbers, the higher the number above or below, the faster it's going to happen in either direction, right? But it's a simple equation. It's not easy though, right? Because there's an accountability piece to it that a lot of us struggle with. When you're just in the room with yourself, how accountable are you to doing what you said you wanted to do? When things get hard, how much are you going to stick with what you said you were going to do, right? The accountability piece is the tough part. And that's why, that's one of the things I work on with my clients is being able to work with me. Obviously, I hold you accountable. It's not just you by yourself. You have a coach to hold you accountable. When you here's the thing you got to think about. Most of us lift weights or have lifted weights before. When you have a gym buddy or somebody that goes to the gym with you, it's really hard to miss those workouts. Once or twice you could text them like, yo, dog, I'm not going to make it. But more often than not, when you have somebody you work out with, you show up, right? You don't miss those times because you have somebody dependent on you to spot them. You have some camaraderie. There's a group of people. This is why CrossFit is so popular. It's a family oriented thing. Like everybody's in this thing together. I was working out with Jim at 5 o'clock yesterday. I know Jim's going to be here at 5 o'clock today. If I don't show up tomorrow, when I show up, Jim's going to be like, hey man, what happened? Where are you at? The wild was crazy yesterday, right? We blew it out. So there's an accountability piece, and that's why people stick to it. And that's why they get the results they get. So losing weight, gaining weight, it's a simple equation, but it's not easy. And accountability is what people struggle with, right? Lastly, and I'm gonna get out of here. I'm gonna let you guys get back to doing your thing. I know you're a busy dad, busy dudes out here, doing the dang thing, but you have You have to have a routine. Okay. Think about your day. The more routine it is, the easier it is to knock it out, right? This is why I say I have the same breakfast 90% of the time. It makes it fast. It's easy. It's the routine. I just knock it out. Like I know exactly where the oatmeal is. And matter of fact, after you get good at it, you put the oatmeal, protein right next to each other, right? So I don't have to go get the oatmeal and turn around. I go get like once you get your routine together, things start just coming together, or you get smart and you make them come together, right? But when you have a routine, when I say it's simple, not easy, it makes it simpler. Oh, sorry, not easier. It makes it easier, right? Because you're taking out some of that guesswork. You're not thinking. You have a thing set up, right? This is exactly where it's going to go. Think about it like a play in football, basketball, whatever, right? Whatever sport you play. If there is a play, you know exactly how everything is supposed to work. You know exactly what each person is supposed to do. And if you do them the right way, the play is successful. It's a routine, right? It's like it's what we're gonna do for the day. This is exactly what I'm gonna do. And if I have a routine, it's easy for me to check it off. Like all of us are, for most of us, most of the guys, like we get like that honey-do list, and it's a checklist. And the reason I want that list is I could check it off, right? It's a routine. I get up, check that, got it, got it. Now it becomes routine, right? Makes it easier. But just like I said, your optimal intake, it has to be something that's sustainable, right? Like you can have a routine, and this is what a lot of guys do, right? We gain weight, we lose weight because we're good at like attacking a task, and we just attack it. And we go head on. We're like, dog, I'm 20 pounds overweight. I'm gonna kill this weight. Then we go head on. We knock it out. We lose the 20 pounds, but we go so hard that we burn out. So it's not sustainable. It's not easy for us to stay there. So we lose 20 pounds and we gain 25 back, right? And we're playing this game of attack and retreat, right? So whatever it is you do, when you create that routine, it's got to be sustainable. It can't be wake up, do 3 hour workout. Not you, not a busy dad like you, not a dude that has business he's building and a family that he's trying to be present for, right? That's not sustainable. It may work for a time, right? And it may get you to your goal, but then once you get there, how long are you gonna be working out for 3 hours a day, right? So it's got to be something that's sustainable. And I like to tell people and clients like it's always the minimum effective dose, right? What is the least I can do to get the most out of it, right? Like when I get headache, right? I don't want to take 100 aspirin when one aspirin could get the job done, right? What is the minimum effective dose? What is the littlest amount that I can do to get the result that I want? That's what I want to do, right? If I want to get the physique I want, and I talked about strength training for 45 minutes to an hour, right? If an hour gets the job done, why the hell am I do it for 3 hours? Right? If I'm gonna get the body that I want, right? And I'm gonna get the energy that I desire, and I'm gonna get, what all that, why do more? Right? Because I can take those other 2 hours and devote them to time with my kids, or spending time building my business, right? Like when we overdo it, if we don't have a routine, things get loose, right? And we start spending more time doing one thing that's not really that important. If we have a routine, we can go, okay, it's 8 o'clock, I'm gonna knock that out, right? From 8 to 9, I'm doing this, from 9 to 10, I'm doing that, right? And that makes it easier for you. One, like I mentioned earlier, finding that hour to fit into your schedule. But then two, you only have that hour, so you're super effective during that hour because that hour is dedicated and committed to that one thing. So it's that minimum effective dose that gets the job done, right? Um, so yeah, so again, this will probably be one of the few episodes where you get just me by myself. But I wanted to get on here, man, and really just tap back in, like I said, and have an opportunity to kind of share some things with you that I have been, talking to clients about and just kind of going through with people. So those are my seven, right? It's the seventh episode. I decided to give you seven things, gave you a couple bonuses. Couple things, right? A couple really cool things. I put together a post-pandemic parent performance program. You may, if you follow me, you may have seen it on my social media. We did like a huge 4th of July sale, cut kind of everything in half. I threw in a couple of ebooks that I've written. and did a bunch of little things, right? And so it's gotten some pretty good feedback so far. The next group of people will be actually starting on Monday the 12th. I don't know what day that is exactly. Whatever Monday is, the following Monday after 4th of July, blah, blah, blah. So the 11th. No, the 12th, Monday the 12th. So we've got a bunch of people starting Monday the 12th. So what I'm doing is, look, if you are listening to the podcast, right, you're paying attention, you're locked in, right? And so what I want to do is, whatever time, whatever day you hear this, right? If you follow me on Instagram, you follow me at You Can Call Me Coach. Follow me at Instagram, DM me, right? DM me 4th of July special, right? And I'll let you get in for the same rate that the 4th of July people got in, which is 50% off, right? Plus, like I said, plus the ebook, plus the 2 ebooks, actually. Sorry. And it's super, super good deal. I'm telling you, dog, if you're planning on losing weight, one, do those 7 things. If you plan on getting strong, do those 7 things that I just mentioned. But then also, if you're looking for that accountability piece, if you're looking for a meal plan, exercise program, if you don't have one of those already, it's a part of the program, right? It's a bonus of the program. So you have an opportunity to knock those things out. That's enough of that. All right, fellas, look, I am going to get out of here. The next time you see me, I'll have a guest somewhere, either to the right or to the left of me. And we got some really good guys lined up too. I got a couple of episodes that are in the can that you'll be getting pretty soon. But some really, really dope people lined up. We'll be learning a little bit about real estate. We'll be learning some more about, like, just dealing with yourself and your health, your mental health, building your business, leaving your job, like all this stuff, man. A bunch of stuff lined up for you fellas. So I'm excited for this next few episodes, and I look forward to seeing you guys soon, talking to you soon. Again, if you are following me on Instagram, it's at You Can Call Me Coach. And you can follow the podcast on Instagram at Forfeit Fatherhood, right? I haven't said that before, but yeah, follow the podcast at Forfeit Fatherhood. Follow me at You Can Call Me Coach on Instagram, on Twitter. Yeah, right. Super excited. If you guys are listening to the podcast, it's also on YouTube. If you want to see, if you want to see us, right? You want to see what I look like. You want to see what the guys look like as they're talking. Then you can hop on YouTube, and it's the Potential for Performance YouTube. But Potential for Performance sponsors Forfeit Fatherhood podcast. So shout out to them. Shout out to us. Shout out to you, busy dope dads. All right, fellas.